This is Your Favorite Character Sucks with John, Matt, and Brandon.
Wrong. This is Your Favorite Character Sucks with a group of women who are about to blow your mind. This is a podcast where we look at the characters in our favorite books
And movies and TV shows.
and decide which is the best. How does one determine that? Well, with our extensive knowledge and a level of confidence possessed by, I don't know, a American man, we can discover the answer to any question. Before we begin, this podcast has assumed that you're familiar with the series being discussed. So if you haven't...
I want you to change this up because this is very...
I'm going to. I'm not going to say acid trip. I'm not a dork. So if you haven't read, listened to, or watched any of the things that we're talking about, then you might consider saving it for a little bit later. You've been warned.
On today's episode, Grey's Anatomy and the Shondaverse. So, we are gathered here today. Nope, that sounds like a wedding.
Sounds like a Prince song.
We are here today. Yeah. We're here to talk about Shonda Rhimes and her show, Grey's Anatomy. And this is an all-girl takeover because Matt and Brandon and I don't have the spine or the courage to tackle a series like Grey's Anatomy. It's too long, too much going on, too much drama, honestly. I can't handle it. So we've enlisted Erica.
Hi.
And my mom, Bridgett.
Hello.
Who she made a little appearance on the Stranger Things episode that she ordered for us to do. And we're also joined by two new guests today. Celeste.
Hello.
She's with us, and she also does a podcast.
That's right.
It's called Mother Forking Podcast. And tell people what it's about before we get started.
Yeah, it's a podcast all about parenting and sharing our experiences as parents and just the crazy real shit that we go through. But yeah, so Mother Forking Podcast.
Very cool. And then also Kelsey is joining us all the way from Dallas.
Hi.
Do you want me to mention your business so that any doctors who are listening can buy it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
What does a doctor do if they want to get something from you?
Yeah, so it's called... What? Oh, yeah. So my business, it's called The Choice CBD. And I work with people in Arizona and Philadelphia and Colorado who have really good high-quality CBD products, and I help doctors fit it and tailor it to their medical practices. So
very cool.
Very
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where what do they search up, or what do they go to find it?
So it's the-choice-cbd.com.
Okay, very cool. Mm-hmm. All right, so who is brave enough to say which Grey's Anatomy character is the best first?
Okay, I'll go. So, my name's Erica, and I picked Calliope Torres. And then also I just want to say that whenever I'm referring to Calliope Torres, I'm talking about the character and not the person acting because they have different pronouns. So I'm just talking about the character. I picked Calliope, and I've been watching the show since I was 15. Like religiously. I based my life model off of it after college.
And you're 16 now?
After college, I based my life off of it.
Wait, you based your life off it?
Yeah, I remember I went and worked in the operating room for 2 years.
Oh yeah, she was in the neurosurgery.
Yeah, I worked in surgery for 2 years, and I thought I was gonna be the Christina Yang of my internship, but I wasn't because I hated the job so much. So anyways, and I rewatched it right after I graduated college. I started it from the beginning again when Netflix was new, and I just rewatched it during quarantine again, and now I'm up to date.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been watching it for a while. Anyways, I picked Callie. I think she is... Wait, is this the part where I discuss it? Okay.
Yeah, you can tell.
I think she is remarkable in so many ways, and I really feel like her character is underrated. So she comes on and kind of gets bullied, I feel by the main cast, which I didn't love, how they treated her in the beginning. But she took it, and she was very even though y'all are ugly people to me, I'm not going to be ugly back to you, and I really respected that. And then I loved how her character shifted, and she became more of herself and like explored bisexuality, and then decided that's what she wanted to do. Like, so, you know, in the beginning, you got to see the first like bisexual, the first lesbian relationship because of Callie, I think. Yeah. And then you also got to see the first time where people were like co-parenting. I really feel like their baby, oh no, Bailey's baby was the first baby, but you got to see like a different family model. So I just feel like with her character, lots of different things were being explored through her, and that was really nice to see in those earlier seasons. Now, obviously, the show's more evolved, but back then, I just remember being like, oh, she has a baby with this guy, and she's married to this woman, and it's happy, like they're making it work, and I just love that.
That's very true.
All right, it's been verified as a fact by Celeste. So who's going next? Whose character is also the best character?
I can go next. So this is Celeste, and I am very late to the game. I didn't watch it when it was new or current or anything like that. So I watched it definitely when Netflix was out. I can't remember what year, but I saw it and it was all right. You know, people were still talking about it, and it just got repetitive for me a bit. And then recently, Erica posted it on Instagram, and I was like, man, I need to watch this show again. Yeah. And so I started watching it, and then I was like, man, this is a good show. And anyways, the character that I picked is Alex Karev. And let me just disclose that I am not current, but I am on season 13. And I don't care about spoilers, so if stuff comes out, you know, hey, I missed it, but it's okay, I'll get there. I did fast forward or watch to where they cut off his character, so I'll discuss that. But I still choose him, and the reason being, I am a big fan of an underdog, and I feel like that he was exactly, you know what I mean, like one of those characters. Mm-hmm. He's the character you're rooting for, even if you kind of hate him. Like you, especially at the beginning, the first episodes were like, gosh, who's this frat boy, annoying dude, you know? But then you start getting to hear about his background, you know? Even though he's a smart ass, he has like all these past trauma. So, and then he also becomes like this awesome pediatrician surgeon. And so I like that happened to his character, because it showed like, okay, like I'm a badass, but here's my softer side. So.
And he becomes Meredith's person, which I think is just so cute, so sweet. I love that she has like a brother.
Yeah, so he kind of takes over that spot whenever Christina leaves, because that did change the show a lot when Christina left, I feel like. But Alex came in and, you know, he replaced her. So he is my favorite dark and twisty character.
And now she's on that new show. What's that show called?
Killing Eve.
Killing Eve. It's like won some Emmys and stuff.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that, see?
We watched one episode.
You guys like it?
Forgot it existed.
Well, yeah, we've had trouble watching shows. We're watching like 10 seasons of Survivor. Like, we have not watched a new show in a while, but.
I must disagree with you though, Celeste. I don't think Alex Karev was ever an underdog.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I mean,
he 100% was.
I think
like, he started off as a bully. He was making fun of Izzy.
But I'm saying like, he legit was, if you, Weber says it, like, you almost did not make this program. Right. Like, you came in on the skin of your teeth or whatever.
I know, but he did that like, to himself. Like, he, like, lied about, like, what was it, testicular cancer?
He had one ball. Sorry, that's not funny, but, like, that just shows
he
how,
lied
like,
about it, yeah.
That just shows how passionate he was to, like, prove his point and like to like make it.
I don't know if that's passion or desperation.
Yeah, or could be both. That happens a lot.
So
that's true.
He lied about testicular cancer. Why?
To get into the program.
You have to apply to a program. He tried the sob story approach.
Oh.
Yes.
And he barely made it into the program.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. True. I don't think he's an underdog.
I think so.
Yeah,
well, we'll get to it. We'll decide on that later. But first, let's hear the other two medical professionals that we'll be discussing today.
Doctors,
yeah. Well, they might be. Maybe somebody's picking a nurse. I don't know the show.
Nobody's picking a nurse.
No, because they don't have any nurses that do anything on this show.
They had Olivia.
Just Rose.
Olivia was the main
one.
True.
Olivia.
Oh, and the one who dated Derek. I can't remember her name.
That was
right
Rose.
Now. Oh yeah, Rose.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I can't think of the main nurse.
Nurse Jackie?
No.
Is she on that show?
No, that's
the
a different
sweet little old Asian lady who's been on the show
Oh,
since the
yeah,
beginning.
she's my fave. She's always...
There's another person who's been on the show?
She's a side character. She does not have any lines.
No.
She's always in the OR. Yeah, in the OR.
Yeah, she's a scrub nurse.
There you go.
Yeah.
She's my favorite.
She just makes faces sometimes when the crazy shit goes down in the OR.
I'll argue for her.
On the promos on Instagram, they have her in all the they have her in ads and stuff.
No
and
way.
She's in pictures with the cast. They love her.
She's a top
it's like
extra.
my dream.
I think in this more recent season, though, she gets a little bit more airtime.
No way.
She's still not talking, but they show her face a lot more.
That's funny.
Like her facial reactions, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
All right, who's going next?
I will.
All right.
Yeah, no, so I think Miranda Bailey is the best character. So when I think of her, I kind of think of that Shakespeare quote, like though she be but little, she be fierce, or whatever.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How did y'all both know the same quote?
Little, she is fierce. You've never heard that?
I might have, but y'all both said the quote almost simultaneously, like it's on like a meme with Bailey or something.
Every short person knows that quote.
Oh, short people know the quote. Okay.
Hey.
So what was the quote though? Because
you missed it.
So it's Shakespeare. It's though she be but little, she is fierce.
Okay.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that is for her because since episode 1, she's kind of she's been a badass. She bosses around the residents, but she also does it in like a loving way. She wants to teach. And you see that hard side of her, but you see her fair side, like when she defends Meredith in that trial, or when she has her baby, you see the soft side. So I think she's kind of an all-around character, and I think there's a reason she's been on the show ever since day 1. So
can I ask a question about her? Because a lot of authors do like like they will put themselves in the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Like for instance, George R. R. Martin, like Sam is like the George R. R. Martin, like the author's voice in the story. I feel like Bailey could be. I don't know. Am I crazy? Is that Shonda Rhimes
you're
like in the story?
wrong, and let me
like a
tell you
plus
why.
size.
Let me tell you why
woman?
you're wrong.
Okay. All right.
I read Shonda Rhimes' book this year. Shonda Rhimes says that Christina is her. Like, she identifies with Christina so much. She said, like, writing Christina off was one of the hardest things she had to do. She had to decide between, like, going to her kids' like, ballet thing or whatever, or being on, I can't think of the actress's name either, but being on her Sandra Oh, yeah. Her last episode, and she was, like, talking about how she was almost in tears that she had to pick between the two, and I really want to say she picked to be on that last episode because she was like, this is the last thing, and it was such a big moment. So anyways, the whole book, if she like talks about a moment where she feels triumphant or anything like that, she talks about channeling her inner Christina. Like, she just talks about Christina a lot. I think casting Bailey might have been a like, we are similar, we identify kind of thing, but I don't think she has Bailey's personality.
That's awesome.
But the actress who plays her also, though, she's from Houston. Woo woo.
Yes.
Who plays Bailey? She's from Houston?
Yeah, she's from Houston.
Oh, cool.
And she was, like, looking for roles for such a long time, and nobody took a chance on her, obviously, because Hollywood is trash. And
That's true.
Grey's Anatomy, Shonda Rhimes gave her first shot, and I'm just so happy for her.
And I have to say,
That's
like,
awesome.
I was thinking about picking Bailey until, we all had to, like, fight for someone. So I was like, okay, Bailey's taken. But in my opinion, she's, like, one of the best actresses on the show. Like, she's somebody that I don't cringe when she shows her emotions. Like, I'm like, hell yeah. Or I'll be like, I just, I feel it. But not, like, in a, I don't know. There's some characters where I'm like, I can't stand.
This is...
Well, we'll talk about that
Grey's
later.
Anatomy, it's an evening time soap opera, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, it's dramatic.
Bailey, to me, I love her so much. She is nowhere near one of the top 5 for me, but I love her.
No
and
way.
I love what they've done with her.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes her acting is overacting in a way that nobody would ever act in real life.
Yeah,
like,
I think
the way
she's a
she
really
talks,
ugly crier.
She is. Oh, it's so unfortunate. Her cry scenes, I'm always like...
It's so
And
funny.
then I don't know, though, if it's like this internalized like racism in me where I'm like, I don't want to see her cry. You know what I mean? To where it's like, why is she ugly when she cries, but Meredith's not? You know? So I'm like, no, I need to let her cry. Like, we need to let Black women cry. We need to be okay with it. But when she cries, I just get so annoyed, and I'm like, girl, grow up. But like, can't be that way.
Yeah, it's so funny that you guys are saying that because I feel like that about everyone else. I really can't stand Camp Y'all. Like, she's my least.
Oh my gosh, me neither.
She's my
least.
least.
Okay, we are gonna get there.
But that's how I feel.
Wait,
hold on.
Let me just say something about that. So on TikTok, though, I am on TikTok, and like obviously, like now I see only Grey's Anatomy things, which is so funny. But so many people love April Kepner, and I'm like, are we watching the same show?
Like, what are you missing?
April was annoying from beginning to end. There was never a moment that she redeemed herself.
Fan base, though. She definitely does.
You
so you know that she
out of my
was written
mouth.
off the show and did not find out until like the week that it happened, or like
Oh no,
she was
and
shocked
she was like
by
so
it.
upset about it.
Yeah.
I would be too.
She was devastated.
Yeah, the new writers definitely don't know what they're doing.
Yikes.
But yeah, telling Kelsey that Miranda's from Houston probably brings her stock down because Kelsey's from Dallas, so she thinks like Houston's trash.
I forgot she was from Dallas.
She thinks Houston's just low down trash.
I do not.
Oh, okay. What? Okay.
I've stayed at the Houston Four Seasons once.
Which one?
It kind of looked like a prison, but
Oh God! See, there she goes.
Oh, wow.
Oh no! Shots fired already.
I didn't mean to. I went to
Stay in
NASA.
Houston.
Yeah.
Ew,
Yeah.
NASA's the worst.
NASA is fine.
I liked it.
We
I
put
got
a man on
mug.
the moon. Come on.
No, I'm talking about the NASA like museum or whatever.
Oh, the space Johnson
Center.
Johnson Space Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. For the first time you go, it's
No,
it's cool.
astronauts are cool. Don't get me wrong. I think astronauts are cute, but I don't like space.
Okay, so
I haven't been
are
there
cute.
since like years ago.
yeah, when you live in Houston, you go there when you're a kid.
Yeah,
so
field
you
trip.
experience
That's about it.
I feel that.
Okay, Mom.
Yes.
Who's your person?
Well, I was thinking about Karev. And then I heard he was
really?
taken. Yeah. So I went with
Yeah, by Izzy.
Got him.
And then I was thinking about Andrew DeLuca because I love him, but I felt like because Meredith has been on the show for the entire time, and there's so many things that are kind of surrounded that surround her in the plot lines, and seems to be sort of the signature character for the show. I decided that she was an important character for the series, so that's why I chose her. There are times that I can't stand her, and there are times that I love her.
I mean, it is
so
named after her.
Facts.
That's true.
When
Yeah.
can't you stand her? I'm just curious.
I don't like when she. Well, first of all, has there been any kind of thing that she hasn't like had to be unconscious and in a hospital bed for at least one season or once a season? It seems
Oh my
like
gosh. How many times they're going to put her in a coma or whatever?
right. That bugs me.
It's almost like they don't like her acting or something. They're like lay down every episode.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to get out of her contract. So she's like, if you kill me off long enough.
Well, no, I've heard rumors that this might be the last season. So,
I thought
Yeah.
it was or is.
oh, for sure.
I hope. I mean, I don't know.
Celeste.
No, same. I
Celeste
hope
has
so,
all.
too.
Celeste
I'm
knows
like,
all the
oh.
inside background
She
info.
died of COVID.
Oh my gosh, no, that would be not okay.
Wait, is she's in a coma because she has COVID right now? Is that
Yes.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Had a
Oh,
medically induced coma.
Great.
I think if she died from COVID, like first of all, I don't know
so
how I feel.
insensitive right now.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about
Yeah.
any show really like leaning into COVID.
Well,
but
they
like
haven't
to
as
kill
much
off
these
the
episodes.
titular character with COVID, it just seems
Right.
like, come on, man.
That would be
Well,
so
and the-
messed up.
It's
But
a
it could be
cop-out.
reality.
And with all the reunions, though, this season, it feels like the end. No, you're right. It could be reality. That's for sure.
I mean,
Doctors
Wyatt,
and nurses, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
doctors
how
and
it is.
nurses
I watch
die.
Though,
Grey's
she
to
can't go
escape
out this way.
reality.
What'd you say, Kelsey?
She can't go
That's-
out this way, though.
I watch Grey's so I don't have to deal with reality.
Right?
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying, yeah.
That's why
That's a
I
good
don't want her
point.
to die from COVID.
Yeah, that's too
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
Honestly,
bad ending
though-
if she does.
Okay, so we've gotten past the character introductions. That's the first little segment. But what I was going to say is that the show, for me, from what I've seen as an outside perspective, is that there's literally 4 things that the show is all about, and it's drama, obviously,
Drama.
and it's like just real big like marketable moments that they can be like, hang on until next week when this insane thing happens.
Well, I think it's because it started that way. Like that's
Right.
how TV was maybe 10 years
And
ago.
then it's also about couples and shipping and stuff like that. And then it's also about deaths. Like, how many people in one hospital can die.
No, seriously, though, I always think, like, if I was married, I don't know how Meredith is hanging on. Like, I really don't know how she's hanging on. Because if my best friend moved, my husband was gone, my mom, my sister, my dad, my other, like literally, who do you still have? It just,
she had Andrew DeLuca until she went into a coma for COVID, though. So, yeah, she moves on. She usually moves on pretty quick, actually.
Yeah. I mean, but how is she not a broken human being?
I think she is a broken human being. She always has been, though. So I think she's just already been so broken that now it's like,
I would not be surprised to find out that Meredith Grey is a serial killer and that this is all like just,
that'd be so cool.
That she's been murdering people left and right.
That would be pretty awesome.
This is Grey's not a Lifetime movie.
I mean, it is a Lifetime movie.
How different? Yeah, how different
it is though.
There are cliffhanger episodes, but there's not every week. That's all I'm saying.
Right, especially after this is like the 17th season. I would say maybe there's like, 12 cliffhanger episodes out of 17 seasons. Like, there's not that many.
There's some that cross over with like Station 19 or back in the day with Family Practice.
Private practice.
I mean, private practice, not family practice. Thank you.
And now, what was it, Station 19, y'all said?
Yeah.
The Shondaverse?
That's right.
Yeah. Another reason like Bailey's a great character. She's been on Private Practice and Station 19.
Ah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Oh, Station 19.
I'm still going to say that doesn't make her a character, but that's an interesting fact.
That's a fun,
she's versatile.
Fun fact.
Yeah, I've seen all of Private Practice and Station 19. So.
Oh, shoot.
That's up next for me.
I don't really have a life.
The good old days.
Okay, so I'm looking at some moments that we can sort of like talk about our characters around these moments. Erica, if you see one, then you can...
I mean, it's hard because it stinks because my character does leave so much sooner than everyone else's. Oh, wait, no, I guess... No, she does. Everybody else's is...
Well, there's some moments. There's some moments on here.
Like I said, to me, she was the first time that the show was, like, legit funny, too. Like, Callie was funny, and I did not realize it until I rewatched it, but I was like... Oh, she's making some of these situations that normally would be, like, unnecessarily tense, like, she's adding humor to them. And that's what we needed at some points of Grey's Anatomy. She did have her faults. Like, obviously, she was more of a pushover than she needed to be with, like, George. But watching her break free and just, like, grow as a person and flourish, like, you don't get that from the other characters. Well, you kind of get it from Alex, but not the same.
So I'm getting PTSD just looking at all of the insane violence and moments on here.
I'm laughing. Wait, you said there was drama, romance,
death, couple, drama, and moments. Like
as far
moments,
as
big
couples,
moments.
Okay, I was gonna say Callie and Arizona were one of the cutest couples, but to be honest, Arizona is a huge bitch,
whiny.
And I can't stand her.
Oh, she's the worst.
And that's another thing on TikTok. Everyone loves Arizona, and I'm like, what am I
Arizona.
Missing?
So, what do you like about Arizona then?
Yeah, please enlighten us, educate us, TED Talk us, let us know.
Well, I feel like she was a really good person. Like,
Wrong.
I remember when she was explaining...
She's the most selfish character.
So selfish.
Okay, hold on.
Extremely.
No, she is not. When she
been.
was in court for Sophia, and she was like, listen, I need to help this other kid. I know my kid's going to be fine either way because she has two great mothers. Like, everything
No, that was
will
complacency.
No,
that was
I
straight
think
up
that
because
was
she
selfless.
No, it was not. If you think about
selfless.
the root of Arizona and how, like, she kind of had given up. She was kind of like, well, it is what it is. I'm going to go do my job because they're just going to leave anyways. Yeah. And then when she got her and she had her, she was kind of like, oh, shoot, I can't do this. Because Arizona never wanted to be a mom.
That's what I was saying.
Right,
I was
that's
like,
true.
She never wanted it. She said it from the beginning
so
that she did not want a family.
And
then when she was unable to have a baby, I think, like, she might have had a miscarriage. I can't really remember. But when she was unable to, she was like, you know what? Nope, I do not ever want to be pregnant. Like, I don't want a family. That's who she was. So when she walked out of that courtroom, to me, I took it as she literally just, like, she cares. Obviously, she raised this child. But like she said, she knows she's going to be perfectly fine with Callie and she can see her whenever she sees her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think when she talked to Callie's, like, dad, when he was all concerned about her being gay, she was like, yeah, I'm named after the USS Arizona because my dad was a Marine or whatever he was, someone in the military. He was like, she said, hey, I came out to him as, lesbian. And he goes, okay, that's great, but are you still the good person I raised you to be? And I thought that moment was like special because I feel like that was kind of the moment that Callie's dad really like got through.
Yeah,
like it got through to him.
Yeah, accepted her for that.
Doesn't change her from being a selfish bitch, but yeah.
I feel like, a lot of her decisions are just way selfish. Like, their whole relationship.
She cheated on her. Yes. And then she got mad at her for her leg being cut off, which, granted, I get it. Wait, but if you're a surgeon...
Whose leg got cut off? Arizona.
Arizona. Callie ordered for it to get cut off.
She should be a little angry that her leg got cut off, right?
No.
Or die.
Okay, I'm not saying, like,
cut your leg off or
her
die.
pain isn't valid. Like, obviously, it's so valid to have feelings about that. But for her to, like, give Callie the silent treatment and then cheat on her... And then just be like, you don't understand my life. And it's like, obviously she doesn't understand, but she's trying so hard to help you. And yes, she had to chop off your leg. Like, yes, she had to do it. But it's either that or you die. Like, and as a surgeon, though, as like a medical professional, you should have the mindset to understand the decision that had to be made. You know what? The more I talk about her, I'm like, no, she's a bitch.
Okay. She fires you up. I just feel like her personality in general was always like, me. In general, she's very like bubbly and like she, like, so people see that idea of her. But when you break it down in like certain moments and scenarios, I feel the same that Eric is saying. I feel like she's very selfish when it comes to certain things. Like, she's always looking out for herself at the end of the day. And that's the reason why I'm like, not a fan. I mean, maybe it's because Arizona went for Biden in the last election. Maybe that's why people are like super excited about it.
I think she was just kind
Biden
of a
2020
meh character.
I mean, Callie cheated on Arizona too with Mark when she got pregnant. So
that is true.
No, they were broken up.
Yeah, they were on a break.
Yeah, but I still feel like though she like told Arizona like, "Hey, I'm pregnant" to like hurt her.
No, they were broken up. I'm like 90% sure
because I know, but there were still feelings.
It doesn't matter. You're broken up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You can have a one-night stand with somebody after being broken up.
Also,
like,
it was
what
Mark
is she
Sloan.
supposed to do? Sit in celibacy while she waits for some douchey woman to fight for her? Like, no.
And she knew.
All right, well, Erica feels very strongly about Arizona.
Let me tell you, Arizona.
Good thing no one's arguing for Arizona because
no,
she would
no. I was just gonna say that she knew how bad Callie wanted to have a baby. So that was really annoying. That was so annoying, that whole process of her, like, it's not for me, And then, like, she's, like, head of, peds, which was annoying to me, too. I'm like, but I don't know. I guess she was super career-driven. But I thought I was happy for Callie doing her own thing, so...
Does anyone else, did y'all want to add anything else, or should we talk about another relationship?
Okay, we can talk about Meredith and Derek, because I think everyone thinks they are so cute, such a good relationship, when Derek is toxic as fuck.
You and Kelsey about to butt heads again.
Derek was such a toxic man to be in a relationship with. I'm sorry, all the men on this show, the way Shonda writes them makes me really question how she thinks men should talk to women, because the amount of yelling that they do, I swear, if a man yelled at me like that, I don't even know what would happen, because no man has ever yelled at me. But the way these men yell at her...
you're like the strong person. A lot of girls really, I feel, just take that. And it's not that it's right. But I mean, were you in a sorority or a fraternity in college?
No.
She played lacrosse for one day.
I played lacrosse for one day.
I was just trying to give that little tidbit.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of those guys, that's kind of is how they treat women, and I really do feel that all the men on the show are kind of like frat boys.
Wait, except for Karev. Okay, I'm fighting for him. I feel like his character,
such a frat boy.
He was growing out of that, but
he came from rough beginnings.
Exactly, and
so we can make excuses for him.
No, but I'm saying, like, in comparison to, like, Derek, who had 4 sisters and grew up with a single mom, you would think he would talk to Meredith a lot differently.
This is true.
I think he mostly talked to her pretty well until, like, the end when their divorce was pretty imminent.
No, even from the beginning, she would do something in the operating room and he would just yell at her afterwards, and like, she was so meek, and
but
he was
is
obviously
how doctors act, though.
No, that is 100% how surgeons act, for sure.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you act that way with your partner.
No.
But what if your partner's a surgeon too?
She wasn't his partner.
Then it's even more not okay.
Well, that's why they say don't work with the people that you're with, because, I mean, you're like, the way you treat each other at work can bleed into your relationship and vice versa or whatever, so.
And what this whole show is about.
Was good.
No, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay, we're talking about relationships. I mean, this show falls into the pitfall of a lot of different shows, which is like they're all just dating each other and just passing each other on from one to the next person.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's so weird. That doesn't happen in real life.
Actually,
not at all.
think it kind of does in a hospital culture.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And in middle school.
So, yeah, there you go.
Oh, man. It's funny because I remember watching one of the episodes when my father-in-law was over, and he said the exact same things you were saying. Like, this show's too much drama. I can't watch this shit.
It's
and then he
very
said,
intense.
if this were to happen in my job, sexual harassment, la la la.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like,
Well,
fired,
that happens later.
Fired. So
Yeah.
I was just cracking up because I'm like, this is true. Everyone's dating each other. Everyone's going to the on-call room.
It's funny how Meredith has dated some of the same people as her sisters, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her sisters.
Especially Maggie.
That's where I'm at right now, where they're fighting over what's the new guy that comes in the show?
Oh my gosh.
Riggs.
Yes.
Riggs.
But I
Riggs,
don't understand why isn't Meredith just telling her that they're like low-key flirting behind her
Because
back?
they were just trying to add
Maggie
a
liked
drama
her,
storyline.
too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I think she tried to tell her at first or something, and then I don't know. But she also she was also pursued by Lincoln or
DeLuca.
whatever the guy's name is. That's with. Well, no,
Okay.
DeLuca too. But
Lincoln, yeah.
Back in the day, before Lincoln was with Amelia, he was hardcore trying to hit on Meredith, and I don't think she was ever with him. But it's just weird how the guys are also all interested in Meredith, and then end up with someone else. Usually, their sister.
Agreed.
Her sisters.
Meredith's relationships were always kind of meh. I didn't think her relationships were ever interesting enough. I, first of all, cannot stand Owen. So when he's with anybody, I'm just like, ugh. Jackson and April should never have been in a relationship. That was ridiculous on every part. And another reason why I hate
But
her.
Maggie and Jackson.
Oh, Maggie and Jackson too. Whoa, that was weird.
I loved them.
Oh, no.
That happens.
I liked them
gotta,
together.
I gotta see
They
this.
they seem like brother and sister. And I know that was like the whole point.
Well, they do.
But it was like there was
Yeah.
never any sexual chemistry. I feel like the show was just trying to force another relationship on us. But
Are you current with the show?
Yeah, I am. I think who she's with
That
right
new
now,
man for
it's
Maggie?
cute.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I think it's cute
He's
now,
on Station
but like
19.
you can tell that the show's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like
He's perfect. for
every
her.
character now, it's kind of like, where do we go next? Like, what are we doing?
Well, the show's going to end soon, so I think wherever
Exactly.
they go,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
really-
feels it.
Yeah.
How do you think they would even end that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Grace.
That's a good question.
They're going to end
I
it
mean, like one day
things
is
are
the
going to
hospital
continue
going to
on.
have to like blow up?
No, they'll just end it like it's, tomorrow's going to be a
You
new
think
day.
Meredith would just leave?
I don't know.
I mean, she might die from COVID.
She might die
I
from
don't think she
COVID.
will.
Why?
I think America needs some hope, and I feel like Shonda would be disappointed if they let her show in that way.
Well, why
That's
can't
fair.
characters just leave? Why do they all have to die?
They don't all die.
Mine did. Mine did. Mine
Callie
left.
Oh, yeah, yours
Callie
did.
didn't die.
Yeah.
Christina's
Yes.
still alive.
Christina's
But the thing
not
that
dead.
also stinks, though, is the only time people. Well, no. I was going to say when they leave, it's always like so abrupt that they don't have time to write them off well. But I think they wrote Arizona off well. I do not think they wrote April off well. Because who in their right mind would remarry or marry the person who left them at the altar the first time?
The same thing with Alex,
might.
though.
Stop.
They-
yeah,
it
I
felt
know.
like-
Would? Wait. Who said they would remarry somebody who left them at the altar?
No, I said
I mean,
stop.
it depends on if they change.
Kelsey, baby, no, baby, listen, because you've already said a few things. You cannot let men treat you poorly. If a man walks off at your
Wait, but
wedding,
didn't April leave him? I thought that's what I was reading.
April went to
Yeah.
get married at the altar.
Yes.
Jackson stands up and is like, "I love you. Run away with me."
And
Yeah.
she does, doesn't
And
she?
she does.
So that, okay.
And they have an awful relationship. They get
Oh, but you're
divorced.
saying if a man did that to
No,
her.
listen. They
to
get
Kelsey.
divorced, and she remarries the man who she left at the altar.
She left it though, so you're flipping it the genders for
Yes,
Kelsey.
so I'm
okay.
saying, Kelsey, if a man leaves you at the altar and he comes back to you, he's like, oh, my 1 year fling didn't work out. I have a baby with that girl, but you're my true love. Don't take him back. Do not.
But what if he's changed? What if he had a lobotomy or something and is just really a different person?
Do not take him back because then he'll just leave you. He'll just leave you again. You cannot let people treat you this way.
Wait, so
And
how
that's
did they end
therapy
her
with Erica,
character?
We had no
What?
idea this was going to be about dating advice.
No, this is actually so Kelsey. We were kind of worried about your future, and this is we got a bunch
intervention.
of older women who are a little more experienced. They're here to kind of help guide you.
You aren't that much older.
Yes, we are.
I am.
No, I don't know how much. How old are you?
23?
No, she's not.
No, I'm going on 25.
I was close. Okay, going on. So you're 24.
That is correct.
Okay, so that's not that much more than 23.
Wait,
And
then she's
also-
almost
but
22.
nobody
if you think
likes
about
to
it that
know
way.
When you say
23.
I'm going on, it usually means that you're younger.
You just turned 24 like yesterday.
No,
Yeah, Mom-
I turned
Mom, what are you
24 in
going on?
September.
I'm going on 51.
So
51.
so she's got some years on you.
awesome.
So you are pretty much younger.
Yeah.
But anyway, but we also wanted you on the podcast because we wanted the perspective.
Because
So,
we love us some Grey's Anatomy lovers.
That's true.
I
And by
do
the
not.
way, Erica, we finally agree on someone. I hate Owen too.
I feel like if you like Owen, then there's something off about you.
I like
agree.
Owen.
And he's not really that attractive.
That's
what,
what
do we like? What do we like about Owen?
I just like Owen as a person, but I don't like any of his relationships. I just think he's he's a ex-military, whatever. They've played that out. The whole
Yeah.
choking in the thing. I don't.
You know what? You're
And the
right. He's not
PTSD.
awful.
Oh, wait.
You're right. He's not
Okay,
awful.
wait. Is
horrible
Owen the
person.
redhead guy?
Yeah.
he's
Oh, I hate that
redhead.
guy.
Yeah, but I don't like or dislike him. I feel
He gets
about
better.
like
He
him
gets
like
better.
I do with Arizona.
You're right.
Like she didn't bother me that much.
Okay, yeah, I feel
I'm
that
not
too.
passionate about him one way or
think-
the other.
I remember when I saw him on the show. This is all anything that I say is outsider's perspective, right?
Yep.
But when I saw him on the show, I was just like, that dude looks lame. That was my first thought. I was like,
He's
that,
also
that dude just looks
Scottish.
really bland. Yeah,
No
and,
way.
and I feel like his American accent wasn't that great at the beginning. I could be wrong, but
Wait, he's doing an accent?
Yeah, he's
he's
Scottish.
Scottish in real life.
I would have never guessed.
I wanted to say one relationship that I do like. Because I
If you say
dislike
Owen
everything.
and Teddy, I'm gonna cry.
Who's... Oh, no. Teddy's a lesbian. She shouldn't be with Owen. Mark and Lexi.
That's what I
Except
was
for the
going to
whole
say.
like age thing,
Yeah.
I thought their relationship was very sweet, and I just really hate that they died before they got to be together.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Mark.
They
and
died
That's so
separately.
true.
I'm gonna be really insensitive, but
I
when
really hate
Arizona
the
was
plane crash.
screaming during that plane crash scene, or helicopter, it was a helicopter. That was another time where Arizona lost points for me because, like, the whole scene was already chaotic enough, but her screaming and Christina asking where her shoe was, I was like, can we just fast forward past this because.
Yeah, I
No.
really didn't like the plane crash. And Christina's like, I had to drink my own urine, and I'm like, why would you say that?
They were stranded for like days,
This is Seattle, right?
I don't care.
but they were flying.
This place is like a nexus for evil and chaos. Like everything, like airplanes go down and like shootings. It's just this place
It's
is
a
insane.
TV
man.
drama.
Yeah, there was like a loose lion at one point.
Oh yeah,
It's just a bunch of random shit.
You gotta like people like impaled by pipes. You gotta disconnect.
It's like the fun little makeup artists, or they get to do their fun little. Let's put a pole out of someone's spine.
Was it
Like,
the first
goodness.
season when the guy got shot with all the
think-
nails from the nail gun?
I think it was
that was
definitely early
freaky.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was way early on.
And those moments always happen right before commercial break, and that cutesy little music that's like down, down, down. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always
Oh,
like
it's like-
a big reveal and then commercial break. It's so funny to me, but I mean, I love it. That's why I love the show.
I love that they don't have that
Dude.
intro anymore. That intro.
Are you serious?
Wait,
I think it's just like dun, 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 in the beginning because we've moved past everybody wanting to sit through that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's so true.
But
It's
I
not
mean,
the 60s.
when I was watching Netflix, I mean, in the beginning where you did have to watch it, it was like skip intro, and I was like, hell no, I'm not skipping this intro. I'm about to dance my ass off to this intro, and I did, and I still do. It's
Right?
so
It makes
good.
those moments. It's like part of the whole process. Like I'm
Yes,
like,
it
oh, the
really just
music's
hypes
on.
you up.
Let's pull out the snacks and the wine.
Yes, yes.
You gotta set it. You know.
what was I gonna say? Relationships. Miranda Bailey. Erica was telling me that she
Her husband
Like,
is
likes the-
super hot.
she likes the fact that like she was saying before, Shonda cast her, and then like you're like, what other primetime show is going to be showing like a plus size black woman with this relationship and stuff like that? So I don't know what were her relationships like, because I know Erica, you were saying that she was.
I mean, her relationships, I'm glad that the representation was there, but the relationships were still like too much where she was like the mom at some points. I think that's changed a lot now.
Yeah.
But there's still just so much of like her feeling like more maternal. And the guys always look a little bit younger anyway, so it's always like, but I'm glad that they're there, you know?
Yeah, I loved her and Warren. I just love him for her. Like he he's just a great like partner. You know, he's supportive and he's there, and the way he talks to her, I don't know, just and he puts her on this pedestal. Yes.
Yeah, he's cute.
Yeah,
he is so cute.
Yeah,
I just love his character too.
Well, and that is like she was Erica was telling me the other day, like, you know, how many other shows are you going to see that is like the focal point of a show, you know, for an episode or two, you know, a middle-aged plus-size black woman like focusing on her relationship and stuff, also with like an attractive dude and stuff like that. So
yeah, like you don't see that as much on TV because, you know, they think that's not what people want to see.
Because the people who write shows are not those people.
Right. Well, yeah. But they also are just casting things based off of what society's standards are versus what is actual real life people.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wait, I want to know why Erica, for you, why isn't she one of your top 5? Because I think she's like, she makes
Bailey.
the show. Like
I mean, maybe she is. Maybe she's like 5 because I can't even think of 4 right now. I mean, Calliope's definitely in there. See, like I can't even think of 4. I would have to have the list of characters written down. Let me just tell you, though, there's not one man in my top 5.
Really?
Yes.
I hate men in general, so I understand.
No, you don't, Kelsey.
I had to pick.
God dang.
I went ahead and picked
Stand
Alex.
up for yourself, Kelsey.
Right. Because I feel like he was the least annoying. Like, I know that he, you know, like we were talking about, but where he's frat boy type of guy. But, like, I just feel like he evolved so much. And then the ending did suck, but I guess his excuse came back to, like...
We keep talking about his beginning and his end, but let's talk about... Y'all keep saying he evolved. So what did he do that made him evolve? You said he was, like, a pediatric surgeon or whatever, but give me the points that are good about him.
I love
like
Karev, too.
Okay.
Even like for his relationships, like, okay, so I thought it was really awesome how like with both Izzy and that girl Rebecca, like
Joe?
I'm not gonna lie,
Rebecca. Gotcha.
Remember that crazy girl, the patient?
Yeah, I forgot about
her.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna lie, like his moments with them, like it was so like you really appreciated him as a character because he talks about how his mom, and then like, you know, he connects to his past and the way he like overly cared for them. It was a nice little change up from his rough edges.
Hey, y'all. It's Erica.
Tell them about the other episode.
Okay, if you're listening to this episode, Jonathan wanted me to let you know that there are tons of other incredible episodes that you should listen to. And even some really good ones, including me. So
If they like anime,
there's some good anime ones, too.
we got a lot of sitcoms.
Lots of sitcoms.
We do a couple like horror episodes.
They even do a couple of horror episodes.
We also have some like Lord of the Rings and...
You know what? No, Jonathan, no. They already get it. Guys, there is lots of variety. There's lots of great episodes. But right now, let's get back and figure out, do I win this one or not?
Please subscribe to the podcast to hear more.
The musical episode.
I literally hate that episode.
Me too.
I have friends that love it. I hated it. It was cringy. But
Yeah,
I
it
have
was.
friends that are like, "Oh, it's so great," and they sing to it. It was the
Ooh,
song.
they're singing.
Yes. What is it? Callie singing "How to Save a Life." But that was sad because isn't that like the part where they transition from the plane crash into
Car
like
crash.
car crash?
Yeah,
car
that's when
crash.
Callie was in the car crash.
Yes, it was too much, y'all.
And that's when her baby's
I
born.
agree.
She has to go into preterm. They have to like
Yes.
deliver her baby because of it.
Oh my gosh, that's right. It was too much
It
for
would
me.
have been
I can't
so
imagine.
much better if it wasn't a musical.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I can't
Whenever
imagine.
Owen starts singing, I think that's honestly when I stopped liking him.
It sounds like Kermit the Frog.
I thought it was a joke at first.
I did too. Oh my gosh, I thought it was a joke.
I was
I
like,
thought
there's
this
no
was
way.
a funny thing.
It's
was
like
so
every show has
serious.
to try it just at least one time.
Well, how many seasons
and
in are you at this
see how
point?
terrible
Like
it is.
they have to do something different, you know?
Yeah, there were a
Yeah.
few.
Not that different.
I can't imagine watching it like current, right? And then expecting an awesome episode that week, and then just seeing that, I would have been so pissed.
Wait,
That's
so
what I'm saying.
whose death hit you the hardest?
I mean, George.
Same.
Oh heck
George.
yeah, heck yeah, George! I cried.
Oof,
Definitely
I
George.
get like goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm not even joking. Like just
I
thinking
will
about
tell you,
that
I think
first
Meredith
time.
ruined his death.
Really? Why?
Well, because, like, when she was trying to explain, like, the 007 thing, and she was like, who wrote 007 in my palm? And somebody else wrote in her palm and was like, what did I say? And she goes, I don't know, Joe? And I'm like, why are you saying
they went
that?
for a joke?
Yeah, no,
because
thought,
they had to confirm, like, how did we know
Bailey
it's George? Because nobody wanted to believe that it was him.
Oh.
So they were like, how do you know, you know?
And she was like, well, he put 007 in my palm. And I don't know. I thought she should have stayed out of it.
Oh, no. The
I
gasp
think have Callie
when she
come in
says
and
that.
see the-
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like this was back when TV was like, I don't know, like the feeling of watching a TV show is different. So like watching that episode when it first came on, I can't remember how old I was, but I remember being like distraught. There were so many moments when I was distraught as like a teenager though over a TV show. Like when Jimmy from Degrassi gets shot. I don't know if you ever watched that, but when Jimmy from Degrassi got shot,
None of them have seen Degrassi.
Too
Trash
soon.
Jimmy.
No, I've seen all of Degrassi.
Oh, okay, Kelsey.
I literally like cried all day to where my mom was like, are you okay? And I was like, I am not okay. And then I just laid in her bed and cried because I was so sad and I couldn't move.
For real, TV shows hit different back in the day.
They really did. I don't know what it is because
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh, background noise, whatever.
Well, what were some of y'all's crying moments with the show?
Yeah, deaths. Well,
In Grace.
Are they deaths?
Yeah, and Grace. Well, it doesn't have to. Well, so I got really teary eyed when Avery and Kempner, even though I can't stand them, when they had the baby and the baby passed away because of its
Oh,
condition.
shoot.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie, like I have a soft spot for that, and I was just like, like just crying. So that was a very like sad moment for me.
I don't. But they're the ones. He got her off of her wedding, right? Like that's a weird.
Well, their whole relationship, I feel like, was, I mean, it was definitely April's fault, and she continuously blames him for her mistake.
It's so annoying. Yes.
Yeah, that was really, just watching her do that each time, like, you know, if I wouldn't have slept with you, I was a good
'cause
Christian, blah, blah, blah.
She was
like,
a virgin.
Yeah, like, I just don't I didn't get it, whatever. They were just, their relationship from the beginning was very, like, built on, like, you know what I mean? Like, ancient or, like, cursed ground or whatever.
And then it got very old, too, like, in a cycle. He did,
It really did.
He did What's Her Name Wrong, Dr. Edwards. He just, at that wedding,
Oh,
he's like, bye.
yeah, he did.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I liked her.
So during the
She's-
wedding, he had a girlfriend, too.
Oh shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did,
God
right next to
damn.
him.
I liked her.
Yeah.
I liked how she went out, too, actually. I just
I
remembered
loved
that.
her.
Stephanie, how she
Yeah.
got burned?
Well, not
So-
that she got burned, but that she was kind of like, she didn't have to die to leave the show. You know what I mean?
That's
like, I like
true.
that
It was
like,
a great scene. It was a great
It was.
episode.
It was
What
like-
she did
yes.
was heroic.
she did so much
Yeah.
acting, too, that I was just like, they should have given her way more screen time where she was
Yes.
acting and not just, like, standing next to one of the main characters.
She is a really good, like, underdog
I loved
doctor
her.
that nobody
Yeah.
really appreciated that
Yeah.
much. But yeah, Stephanie, that's her name.
How do y'all feel about Amelia?
Goodbye.
I can't stand Amelia.
Okay, me neither. Everybody on TikTok also loves Amelia.
Kelsey likes
I
Amelia.
like her more now this season and only this
Yes.
season. But I think
Yeah,
it's probably
me
because
too.
she's not on the
Recovering
screen.
addict.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
that doesn't change her from being annoying. Like,
Yeah,
her
she's too
addiction
much.
has nothing to do with her being
Inspiring.
annoying.
We defended Karev for
No.
having a bad background, right? So
No,
That
no,
is
but
true.
but Karev
She
is
didn't
also
have a
charming.
bad background. She grew up with her
Yes.
brother is Derek Shepard. They grew up in a nice house with good parents.
Yeah.
She was an addict.
She
and
watched her dad
she-
get shot.
Yeah, they did though.
No, that's
She
definitely
did watch her
sad.
dad die.
But
I'm
she's
not
still
saying
annoying.
she shouldn't have been an addict.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I-
she's annoying.
I couldn't stand
so
her.
even though she's a recovering addict.
Yes.
Her and the bickering between her and Meredith, like, get over each other, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all
so
some annoying ass
self-centered.
sisters. Yes, goodbye.
Y'all some whiny people.
Yeah,
That was the most annoying
she is
part.
very whiny.
Yes.
She gets too much screen time too.
She does.
She really does.
I think it's because
For-
she's pretty.
Yeah.
She is pretty.
that's why I think
guess.
Jackson gets screen time. He's just a pretty boy.
I
I
hope
agree
she
with
never
that.
says
Yep.
that that's when she had a brain tumor again. Like we never need to hear it again. she doesn't have to blame her
literally
brain
says
tumor.
it all the time.
Wait, what did she say?
Like if she makes it, she'll be like, "Well, I did that pre-tumor and blah blah blah." Like, okay, we get it. We remember that plot line 4 seasons ago. Move on. Like, everybody in this hospital's had a tumor at this point. Move on.
We don't talk about Karev anymore, but we still talk about her brain tumor from 4 seasons.
Yeah, she's
ago.
always having to prove her point.
So, did you guys see the Joe episode where she helps the rape victim?
No.
That's what.
that was
last
intense.
season.
That's what I saw on
Last
here.
season. Well, that was to me was probably the episode that will always stand out
Joe,
for me.
yes.
And
I was thinking Joe from the
Yeah.
bar. Okay.
oh no, not Joe from the bar, but where they lined the hall.
It looks
Yeah.
like
Women.
a powerful scene.
With all the women. Yeah, it was
very
incredibly
powerful.
moving. It was really emotional, and I felt like that was probably one of the best scenes they've ever filmed. So that's my opinion.
See, but sometimes
agree.
I think the show it goes sometimes into like preachy and like too overt with the messaging. You know, like I think that like, Erica was watching the COVID stuff this season.
Well, this is different writers. Like, the show has changed so much because the writers have been different for like the past 3
it
seasons.
literally feels like they're lecturing us about like COVID.
It feels like a
factoids
COVID commercial.
every single episode to me.
Oh no.
I feel that way a little bit about every show that's dealing with COVID.
Yeah, they're just reading off of a
That's true.
CDC website or something.
Yeah. The mask
Yeah.
goes over your nose.
Yeah, it's constant and it's really annoying.
Too much. Wait, Kelsey, I have a question. It's for everybody, but I want Kelsey to answer first.
I'm scared.
How do you feel about Joe?
How do I feel?
Kelsey's
about
like,
Joe?
I can't answer now. Like, she feels
No,
nervous to
she
answer.
just gave me the pageant, like reform the question. How do I feel about Joe?
Well, I feel like I like her.
Okay.
She's too
Yeah.
scared to say her opinion now because we keep attacking her.
Because every time she does, Erica says, "No, you don't."
No, okay.
You
to
better
be
think
fair,
about that.
Joe is one of those characters who's kind of like middle ground for me. Like, I could do without her, but I don't think she's like. I think she's harmless, you know? I do like
like
that
her.
right now she's kind of hooking up with Jackson Avery, which I appreciate.
hate it.
Yep.
Why?
It makes no
They're both
sense.
such attractive
I'm
people.
loving all these
It doesn't
Spoilers,
matter
by
if it
the
makes
way.
sense.
Because they're just hot.
Just,
they're
just
both
because
hot.
y'all are two cute actors on the show does not mean they need to be sleeping together. Like, I also just don't like
they're
Joe.
not sleeping with each other, then they would have to be sleeping with someone else.
Exactly. I mean, it's
So
truthfully,
they might
it's
as well sleep
COVID
with each
friendly.
other,
Yeah,
'cause
it's
I
more
don't need
COVID
any
friendly
more
for them to
people.
do that.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, it makes
And they're not like
sense.
intimate.
But at the same time, I'm just like, it's too much like brother and sister at a point. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel that.
I
they
don't know.
seem very similar.
I don't like Joe
Yeah,
though.
there's no
Really?
chemistry between them. So
Exactly.
Is it bad
Yes.
that the only thing that I think about her is that she's a pretty face. Other than that, she's one of those characters that I was telling you, like, I
Yes.
just can't stand like her. Like, there's this face that I can just picture right now when she's like talking and she's always like,
Yes,
she
I
just,
think
like, you know
she's-
what I mean?
I think she's
Especially-
still on the show because she's pretty. Because her
fair.
storyline, in comparison, yes,
not
to
pretty.
like, so there was the girl who got electrocuted. There was Shane. There was Stephanie.
No, can we-
Her,
can we
and
please
then
reference the-
that's
Stephanie, her, and then Leah Murphy. And she, out of
Yes.
those 5, is the one that's still on the show. And it's like,
Well, that one girl got
Yes.
electrocuted, to be fair. So, I mean, she's not going to be on the show
that's
anymore.
Brooks.
that one dude played
And
her.
literally, she doesn't have a name.
no,
She's
she
just the
did.
girl who
She
got
was-
electrocuted.
She was
Yeah.
Brooks.
No, you said the girl who got electrocuted.
Because I couldn't remember.
It was Heather Brooks.
She was
wait, wasn't DeLuca in her class?
No, he was the one after. He's with
Yeah.
Schmidt. And,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Look, if you can't get the classes right, Mom, why do we even...
I'm such a loser.
she was
So yeah, she came in and she was just like, she just, like you said, she makes this face. And
I could just picture it right now, and I'm like, stop.
same. And she doesn't really seem that bright. I feel like the show really like
No.
hypes her up to be smarter than what she's ever delivered in any scene ever. But everyone always
She's
says like,
street
Joe's so
smart.
smart. Joe's so smart. But then I'm like, do something smart on the show. Like, stop telling me she's smart. Make her do
Yeah.
something incredible. But she never
I
does.
thought she was doing research.
She did with
Well, no,
Meredith.
now she's going to be an OB.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now she's thinking she wants
Yeah.
to leave and deliver
Yeah,
babies.
which
Oh,
I
that's
think is kind
right.
of cool, you know.
Okay, so the thing about this whole like them being surgeons and this type of thing that is hard for me to understand as somebody who works like kind of in the medical field is
You're a nurse. You work in the
I
medical
am.
field.
That's
Yeah.
true. I work in the
That's like
medical
very in the
Yeah.
medical
You're just in
field.
it.
Yeah.
Is like I'm not 100% sure though. I don't think you can just decide to become an OB from being a surgeon. But how they cross over so much to where they're like, I'm delivering a baby now. I'm like, And now I'm doing a
it's
surgery.
unrealistic.
It doesn't really work that way. Like, if you're an OB, you do C-sections. That's it. You aren't trained in surgery. So you would have to switch entirely and learn a new specialty. Like, it wouldn't just be like a doopy-doopy-doop, I'm hopping over.
Yeah, you have to do the new residency.
It's just a TV drama.
Yeah, it's
no,
drama.
It is for sure, but some of the stuff is so spot on and right about the medicine though that I'm like, maybe this show is on par. You know what I mean? So if you're somebody who like believes it, like some of the neurosurgeries that they did, I saw them all, like even the equipment that they use is the right equipment. That's what blows my mind. Is like down to like the suture that they're using. It's the right suture. So I'm like, but why is everything else wrong if y'all are going to make these random things that nobody knows except for people working in the operating room?
Yeah, any lie you tell has to have a really powerful like core of truth to it. You know what I mean? So that's probably what they're trying to get.
Also, I mean, they're trying to fit it into one scene or one, your set on the show or...
I guess. I just wish people would put more respect on nurses' names.
Yeah.
That show is not very nurse friendly.
No.
Because nurses wheel the patient's back. Nurses go check them at the bedside. Like, doctors don't do any of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I always think it's funny how they're working in the ER, they're working in the clinic, they're working in the operating room. They're everywhere. Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Doctors
They're all
don't
hands
do that.
on deck.
I was looking up top couples, which, by the way, is also a list of 50 long, which doesn't make any sense.
Top couples.
50
Do you know how
top
many
couples.
couples have been on this show?
That's what I'm saying. But so all of the ones
I've
we mentioned,
practically been a couple on the show.
yeah, everybody. We mentioned all of them in the top 10 except for Christina Yang and Preston Burke is number 3 on this list.
Also,
this is a
trash
vulture list.
relationship.
Oh, heck
yeah.
I mean, but that storyline ended so abruptly because that guy got kicked off the show.
They never should have been together. They should have just had sex and not have had a relationship. But Burke, I don't like him, but he was very mature and he knew he wanted a wife and a family, and she didn't want that. And he also had this like dated perception of what a woman should be, I think, and kind of wanted her to be more in the background of his life. And so she like shrunk herself for him.
Yeah.
But that's not who she is as a person. So like their relationship was doomed to begin with. But he comes back though, like in her final episodes. He
when they go to
her,
Switzerland.
He owns a hospital in Switzerland, or owns a part of it, and he gives it to her so he can be with his family.
He has her run it, doesn't he? Or does he give it to her?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I think he gives it to her.
Yeah, because he wants to be with his kid, and then Shane goes with Christina.
Yeah, that's right. That's where Shane went. Mm-hmm. I will say I love that about Christina's character is that she was always like true to like that's her. And that was her storyline. She's this badass surgeon, and that's all she wants from the show. And fuck off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why she was probably done with it.
Because I watched the first few seasons with Erica. We were in high school, and I liked her. I liked how she would she was really mean to everybody and was just kind of out for herself. But I was like, whatever. I mean, that's what you got to do. It's competitive, man.
I don't like Christina.
You know, I want to know why. Let's hear this.
I just think as time went on, I just grew to dislike her. But here's the thing. I think it's because in real life, she wouldn't like me. So, like,
that's the real reason.
Not to like.
So, like, naturally, I just feel like we just would not click. So even watching her on the show, like, she would say some things, and I would think, like, if I was there, I would not let what she said fly.
Yeah.
So, watching her do it, it's hard for me to be like, oh, yeah, this is a love. She was a bully. She was really
hella mean.
She was really mean to a lot of people.
But she called her Izzy have a friendship.
She was so mean to Izzy.
Especially Izzy, for no reason.
Yes.
Is that why she's blacklisted in Hollywood?
No, we don't know the reason for that yet.
What's her name?
Catherine
Heigl.
Sandra.
Catherine Heigl has not like done much.
We can't take a black.
Apparently, she's hard to work with.
She was on. No.
Well, hold on.
We can't take a blacklist from Hollywood because hard to work with is really code for a woman spoke up about something that probably was bad.
Yeah,
so I can't trust any of that stuff
what was
anymore.
Megan Fox that everyone said was hard to work with, and then it came out like years later that she basically wouldn't do whatever the male director said.
Like she was being harassed by the men on the set, and they
wouldn't put up with it.
and she spoke up about it, and so they blacklisted her. Which I'm just like, for now, when people are like, "This person's a bad actress," I don't
exactly.
believe it.
That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that brings me to the number 2 couple on the list. So this is like the second one from the list. Izzy Stevens and Denny Duquette is what it says is the
I
second
love
best
Denny
couple.
Duquette.
Inappropriate.
Goodbye.
What?
Too
Yes,
much.
thank you.
It was inappropriate, but I loved him.
Yeah, me too. He was okay.
What was inappropriate
dying.
about it?
He was a
It was
dying
it was her
patient,
It was her patient.
and she
So she-
broke all these rules
It's
to
like a
save
Make-A-Wish
him.
thing.
She cut the cord that was keeping him alive
The
Oh.
LVAD.
to
So he would
to
get the
rush
part.
Yeah, so to rush his organ donation by calling them and saying he's dying right now, we have to get it. So she basically killed him. And then she got lucky because what if they were like, "Oh, sorry, no heart for you." He would have died, and she got in huge trouble for it.
Was he down with that, or did she do it against his will too?
He was on his last leg when she did it, anyways.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Yeah.
So he was gonna die.
Yes, and that's why
So
she did
saved
it.
him.
Boy, in a way, I mean, he dies anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So anyway, what
then
about
he
their
turns out-
relationship?
He turns out to be a millionaire or some shit.
And leaves her all the money.
But I remember.
And
I
she
remember-
started the
spills
clinic
something
in
on
his
it.
name. It's a memorial clinic for him.
That's
The
true.
Denny Duquette
Yes.
Memorial, yes.
I remember though that being a huge thing whenever it was happening, like him and her on the TV.
Yes, because it wasn't supposed to be happening because it was unprofessional, and they had already told her, Izzy, you cannot be near this patient.
What's that actor's
And she
name?
was like, Katherine Heigl.
No, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Morgan.
No,
Jeffrey
Morgan.
Dean Morgan.
Dean Morgan.
Dean Morgan.
That's it.
Yes, I knew it was three
Yeah.
names.
So yeah, they were already like, Izzy, you literally can't do this. And she was like, I promise I won't. And then she was still there, and everybody was like, Izzy,
But
she
he
just
was
wouldn't
so
follow the rules.
sexy, even when he was dying.
I think he's there's something about him that I
he was
like.
very
Very handsome.
yeah, he was very charming.
Yeah.
He's
was.
charming. I think that's what it is.
No, he is.
Celeste.
He's charming
No,
for
he is
sure, but
also
he's
sexy.
tainted for me because of The Walking Dead.
He's in The Walking
Well, I've
Dead. He's
never
also
seen The Walking Dead, so I love him.
Me either. Yeah.
He is fucking evil in The Walking Dead.
Oh my goodness. No, I haven't seen that.
They say the number one relationship, and we have not talked about Meredith in a while. We should talk about her. Is Meredith and Derek? They say that's the number one relationship on the show, which I guess that makes sense, right?
I didn't care when Derek died. I wasn't too into their
Me neither.
relationship.
Okay, I didn't care either, but I can remember watching it when one of these kids was a baby, but I was so annoyed when it happened because of how they did it. And I mean, I think it was good how they did it because it caught you by surprise, but
Yeah.
I wasn't I was like, oh, he's in the clear.
And then
And then he
boom.
reaches for his cell phone in the middle of the street like a moron.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have pulled your car over, or this 18-wheeler couldn't have honked sooner. I mean, I get it though; it was probably turning a corner, but Derek, where are your brains? Splattered.
Well, I can tell you where they
Oh
are.
my gosh!
No.
But then Callie wouldn't have gotten a girlfriend if it hadn't been for that scene.
Oh my
That's true.
goodness.
Wasn't it Derek and Meredith's relationship in the very beginning, though, that kind of was one of the things you
Yeah.
watched the show for, though? You
Yeah,
know?
But
it
I
was.
think, I think back then, if it were now, I mean, obviously, 15 years ago, it was cute, but
Yeah.
now in 2020, I don't know if their relationship would still be as.
It doesn't play the same.
I don't think so. Just because it was kind of it wasn't really that spicy,
Yeah,
I mean, remember when they first sleep together, they don't even know who each other are. They didn't even know each other's
Yeah.
names.
I know
But,
that was a good episode.
Yeah, that was a good episode. And then
The first episode's a good episode.
it is. She looks
And then
like
they added-
she's 12 years old. If you go back
I
and
know,
watch this
so
episode,
young.
she looks
And
so
now she looks
young.
really old.
Yeah, she does. But
does.
she's had 3 kids.
She is. I mean, she's a middle-aged woman.
She's 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks age appropriate.
I
Yeah,
think so.
I
Yeah,
agree.
But I'm saying
Yeah,
she
she's still
to go
attractive.
from looking like 12 to now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
it's been a long
she
time.
looked. Well, and she had those kids in between. You know what I mean? Kids will.
Yeah,
woof.
kids will
We haven't
age you.
talked. We haven't talked about
Definitely.
the old
So hard.
characters on the show. We haven't talked about Richard Weber and Adele Weber. We haven't talked about.
We don't need to talk about
Richard
Adele.
and Adele
Okay.
are not one of the top 50
Adele's
couples.
the worst.
no,
Yeah.
not
No,
at
they put
all.
him at number 8 on this list.
That is
Why?
hilarious.
No way.
Seriously?
Oh my god! Yes,
What list
for
is this?
20
This is
years, I
Vulture.
cheated on my wife. I'm top 8.
Seriously.
Come on, dude.
Oh, and yeah, and I think that relationship's on here too somewhere.
Ellis
No.
and Richard.
Oh, Richard and Ellis.
Richard and Ellis, yeah.
I love.
I don't like Ellis.
You
I
love
could care
Ellis?
less for her.
No, I don't like Ellis.
Oh, of course,
I
she's
was
like a
gonna
villain,
say,
right?
Kind
Yeah,
of.
Well, I mean, she's got Alzheimer's, but apparently she was always pretty neglectful of her child and or children, because apparently she had a secret one and then put it up for adoption.
Maggie.
Yep.
Yeah. That
Someone's
one was a shock
something?
to me. I was gonna say I do like Weber. I also
like Weber.
I like
Me too.
the, as much as I didn't care for Ellis, I like the flashbacks and like the history of it. I feel like that's a big part of the show because it sets the tone for like, you know, the history of the show. So
If
I
it wasn't
like
for
that.
Weber, Meredith wouldn't even be there.
Exactly.
Still,
That's true.
to this day.
True.
Honestly,
true.
a lot of them.
He's actually
backed
saved
up.
her ass many times.
Exactly. Her and a lot of other doctors too.
Yeah.
Remember, she got his wife into the clinical trial and then didn't give her the placebo on purpose, and she should have been fired for that.
Yes, that's
And then
so
she,
true.
but one of the things that I loved about her is that she used her daughter's insurance to save that little girl,
Oh, yeah.
which is why she
But
was on
I
trial.
liked that one.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and that whole thing was just very like, again, it's one of those moments where the show decides to be realistic when
Right.
we've decided to do stuff like this in the past and it not end up in a trial. So why now?
Yeah,
Because
and
they've done a lot of illegal stuff.
So much.
Callie Torres and George O'Malley.
yeah,
Terrible relationship.
whatever. That was so
Horrible.
awkward. But you had
She's
two.
twice
But
his size.
here's the thing.
You had two gay people trying to pretend to be heterosexual
Yes.
in a
That's so,
relationship.
oh my gosh, that's so
The
true.
thing is, though, is every relationship, because I have to defend Callie, obviously, that relationship helped her grow, though, into the person she became. Like being in that awful relationship with George made her so much stronger and realize she had to, like, speak up and stand up for what she believed in and fight for herself and just not be so complacent anymore because George cheated on her, like, with Izzy.
He did.
When they were married, and she was like, you know, I'm going to stand by my man. I'm going to try and make this relationship work. Like, George, we can go to counseling. We can do all of this stuff. Like, she really tried. And then she finally let go of it. And like watching her release relationships, but like find closure in them was just like very beautiful, very much like a Taylor Swift song. So I appreciated that for her.
Yeah,
That's true. I agree.
But like her and George, it just did make sense.
I think it's interesting how they explore those breakups with some of them a lot more than they do with others. Like after Derek died, there was a few episodes where, you know, we talked about him, but then it was like, okay, Derek's gone. And I mean, yes, you bring it up every once in a while that you're a widow, but otherwise you're not really, you know, we haven't talked about Karev hardly at all. He's not hardly been referenced.
I think
since
for
then.
Derek, it was because there was a time lapse.
That's right. I
I
forgot
think
about
it's
the
because
time lapse.
they made that a year time lapse. And I think literally
that's right.
just to avoid talking about it. Because remember, she finds out she's pregnant,
Yes.
and then
Oh, yeah,
they
she
call
leaves.
Karev as
Wait, she had another baby?
she gets
Yeah.
pregnant. She finds out that she's
The
pregnant.
third
I think the episode that he dies.
Yeah.
And-
also Erica.
But wait, listen, and then
okay.
she leaves Seattle. She leaves the hospital. No one's heard from her in a year.
Oh, okay.
And then
You-
when the baby's
forgot.
born, they find out. Yeah, so I think that's the only reason for him. But for
Yeah,
Alex,
that makes
I
sense.
think because COVID is hitting now, that they were like, screw all the old storylines. We just have to
Yeah.
move on and talk about COVID.
Right, probably.
Erica was telling me that they like tried to salvage Derek's character like a couple of episodes
Yes.
before he died. Like basically he was not doing like his character was trash, and then they tried to make him heroic right before
They
he died.
did.
They
He was
did.
like, I'm
because
gonna
they
I
quit
wanted
thought
my
us
the
to.
job.
same thing.
Yeah.
I'm coming home, Mayor. I mean,
and-
I even felt emotional for a moment because I was like, oh wow, like she was
Feel
so
sad for
happy.
the kids and
no,
stuff.
I felt sad for
Yes.
her because she was so happy and she was like, things finally feel normal because my husband's supporting my career, which he should have been doing this whole time.
Exactly.
That was so annoying how exactly he was super selfish too. And then he went off and then kissed that one doctor. And that's when you realize your family is important?
Yeah. Then he was
Seriously?
like, you know what, wait.
Well, we're gonna get to the end here now, but are there honorable mentions? Like we talked pretty much about every character, but are there characters that we love that we didn't pick, or characters that we hate that we want to like diss real quick, or what?
I loved Andrew DeLuca. I loved his relationship with his like girlfriend from the past, and then she
You know she was on So You
dies
Think
and-
You Can Dance?
No.
Wait, who was?
The girl who played his girlfriend, and she was like only on like 3 episodes. I can't think of what her name was, but in real life, she is a dancer, and she was on So You Think You Can Dance like
DeLuca?
10 years ago.
Who was it? Cheryl?
Her real name's Janine Mason, Anyways, as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, Janine. So I didn't like DeLuca until like one episode ago. So it was really awkward to watch.
A human trafficking ring.
Well, no, I didn't start to like him until like I think before that. So then, and it's funny too, because I text one of my friends about this, and she loves DeLuca also. And before his episode even happened, I was like, I can't stand DeLuca. And then I watched it and I felt bad. I was like, oop, wait a minute. Sorry, DeLuca. But I don't think
heard about that too.
Dies between him and Derek.
Oh, really?
And Meredith was in love with both of them.
Well, Meredith and DeLuca's
they just kill everyone Meredith loves.
Was kind of exactly they do. Their relationship came off odd to me. I don't think she loved him. I think she liked feeling intimate with him, but I think she loved him as almost like something like a puppy, like because she was taking care of him a lot.
Yeah, he was needy.
There wasn't as much intimacy there. Like she could barely even say to his face that she loved him.
Yeah, also, what's the age difference? Like
maybe like
don't
you
worry about it. There's nothing wrong with dating a younger man if you're a hot woman.
There's even if you have but when you have to take care of them though, when you have to take care of another person.
If you right, I know.
Because I mean, yes, he went through the breakup and he was sleeping on her couch and like really emotional. So like, I don't know. Just for me, like if I was in my 40s and my sister had a guy over who was like crying over a breakup but like not showering on my couch, there's no way you could change that for me.
There's nothing cute about
that. There was nothing about their relationship that was like...
That's true, but I just liked him as a person. I liked his character.
Yeah, he started to get better, and that's what stinks. But then, even in these more recent episodes that he's on, where it's his like ghost or whatever, his ghost is so personable, and I'm like, why didn't y'all let him act more like be a character on the show? It was like he was a side character until he had a diagnosis of something, and then he was gone. Like
I think that's where I'm at right now.
We never got
exactly
to see
how I
him
feel.
like just be a person.
Yeah.
Kelsey, who you got for an honorable mention? Either someone you want to mention that you hate or that we have not mentioned that you like or whatever.
Well, so this person was only a character for like one episode. But, like even earlier.
Is it a patient?
Even earlier when. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Well, okay. I don't know why, but like even earlier when we were talking about like, oh yeah, our favorite episodes, blah, blah, blah. I really liked Holly Wheeler, like the girl who was like kidnapped for 12 years and then they found her as a random hiker. God. I don't know why. I felt
like it's like what was that?
She was like relatable. Not that I've been kidnapped.
Oh my God.
But like, you know?
I don't even remember her.
I don't remember
this was
that
a one-off episode, right?
Really? It was 2 episodes.
Was it the one where her parents come back and get her?
But they found like a Jane Doe hiking, and then like they pulled her into the OR or whatever.
What's her name
and they
again?
were like, oh my God, Holly Wheeler.
Okay, we're gonna look her up real quick.
Yeah, she was the one. She was like kidnapped when she was like a kid, and then Miranda Bailey started freaking out.
Yeah, I remember it, and yeah, I remember this episode.
I don't know. I liked her.
It had an impact on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Celeste, who do you think? And we haven't hated on anybody either. But so if you want to, you could love someone or hate someone. It's up to you.
I hate the guy that's dating Teddy or that Teddy cheated with.
Karasik. You know what?
Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the worst for sure. But I feel like they don't give him a chance to be not the worst. So he leans into his villain role because clearly we saw some moments where he was soft and pleasant, but because everyone already hates him, I think he's kind of like, well, they hate me, so I'm just going to be a troll.
But wait, Celeste, you need to give us an honorable.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'm gonna go ahead and say that we didn't actually talk about her, but I really liked Dr. Addison Montgomery.
Oh yeah, me too.
I really liked her.
But yeah.
Wait, that's Derek's first wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, I liked her. I mean, she was very mature, like, through all of it, and she owned up to her shit, and she ended up being, like, this bigger person, and was like, I can't handle all y'all's mess here. I'm out.
Yeah. Well,
I loved her spinoff. I loved Private Practice.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
I did too.
She inspired a spinoff. But yeah, Erica was saying that her and Meredith, it didn't go how you think it would go. Am I right?
Well, just that it wasn't like this. It
wasn't a catty thing?
Yeah, she didn't like Meredith at first, but then towards the end, she was like, I see Derek really loves you. He doesn't love me. Like, go for him. Y'all don't let each other go.
Very mature.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. That was a nice little representation of like, let's be real, let's be mature about this, and I liked it.
Well, and she also tells whoever it was not to hate Meredith because it was a patient, right?
Yeah.
She was like, you shouldn't be mad at her. You should be mad at me. I'm the one that cheated first, and then he cheated, and blah blah blah. So she actually owns it right there in front of Meredith. Though. I don't either.
Me either.
Everyone else did, but I was like, he didn't cheat on her. Like,
no, he walked in on her with his best friend. Once that happens, then it's over.
Right?
Like,
and they were
and
separated.
Do what you want to do.
Like, I thought they were. He probably
they're
thought they
living
were
their own lives.
Yeah, and when they tried to be together again, I was just like, why though?
Oh, that was cringy.
It really was.
That was too much.
Yeah, Derek wasn't good, guys. I'm just gonna repeat that one more time.
Yeah, it's just the whole like it's the face and the hair.
Andy, I think he was hyped up because it was mid 2000s and he's a white man, so like it was just like Nick and Drake, these hot guys.
Exactly. And then he starts having his little silver hair. You know. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But that's my
Love
honorable.
Some silver hair.
Then they dye it.
Yes, that's what I was telling you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Stand some of
Celeste, hair dye corner. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, anybody who's thrown off, like, randomly they'd have their hair dyed. I think that, what's his name experienced that. They did it to McSteamy, McDreamy, and then even
Sloan.
Weber had his hair all black.
Yes. And it's like, he's like on retirement. Let that man have gray hair.
Exactly.
Let him have gray hair. Have y'all seen Euphoria?
Yes, I have.
Okay, do you? Okay.
Mark Sloan's on Euphoria.
Yes. And when I first saw it, I was like,
gosh.
Wait, no, I can't watch this. Like, I was like, I can't think of him the same. So now when I watch Grey's, I just see the guy from Euphoria, and I was really like I couldn't separate the shows for a minute, and I was just like, dude, he's a creep. Like, no.
Bye.
Like,
I think he's a good looking dude.
Spoiler alert.
Who's the hottest character on the show?
On Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah, I thought he was pretty attractive.
Jackson.
Jackson's too pretty. He's a pretty boy.
Jackson is,
I think it's hard to pick one. It's hard to pick one.
What's wrong with being a pretty boy?
I'm just saying.
Maggie's new boyfriend is hotter than Jackson, though.
He is. No, Maggie's new boyfriend is fine. Like, he is, but...
I need to catch up.
And I think
honestly,
Warren is sexy.
I think Warren is too, but in a different way.
Yeah,
like
in a dad sexy way.
Yeah, like I feel like
he
Warren would
have
probably
that.
judge me for a lot of things that I do, whereas Jackson wouldn't notice them.
I disagree. I think
No.
the opposite.
No, Warren would probably be like, do you really think it's responsible to like drink coffee at 9 p.m.? But Jackson probably would be so invested in his own life that he wouldn't notice I was drinking coffee at 9 p.m.
Oh, that's true. He probably wouldn't pay attention.
Do you really
to
drink coffee at 9 p.m.?
No, I was just trying to think of something crazy that I've done.
Wait, can we talk about how George O'Malley had a little glow up? He was cute, like right when he died.
Yes, he was cute.
They got his hair. Because I was always
going to
wondering.
the army.
They made him look so like
goofy.
when he's yes. I'm like, this haircut's got to go. And then he had his little glow up, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, he's cute. Like I would talk to him. But he did have his little moment. But finest, I would agree, Avery.
But if they were like,
This
if it
look?
were, yeah. But if it was the situation though where I had to actually be with the character, Avery is so far down on the list because
Right, we're talking about that,
so
Useless.
annoying. He's so annoying. I mean, I swear the way that they yell at these girls on the show for just like anything. Like he yelled at April way too much. She was annoying, yes, but it was like
Both of them.
their
very
arguments just never made any sense because it was like, you know, she's religious, you know he's not.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like
That's
he's like,
it.
you can't get this baby baptized. Are you kidding me? But it's like, dude, if you don't believe in religion, let the baby get baptized.
So
Why do you care?
he's not only not religious, he's anti-religious. Like,
Yes, he was like very anti, like we don't need to pray. But then all of a sudden he prayed one day and April woke up. Oh,
And April
yes,
lived.
April also, before she leaves, she has her near-death moment, coma. I forgot about that. And she came out of it when he prayed. And now he's like going through a
Stop.
spiritual awakening. Like he's like, I should go camping and blah, blah, blah. Like, I need to be outside more. I think I might be religious now that I got divorced over this very thing.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. No.
It's so weird. They
It
don't
is
know what they're
weird.
doing with his character, but he's pretty, so.
Same
All right.
with Catherine, though. Why is Catherine Avery on this show?
Yeah, it's definitely time for her to just not be on it, because, like, she's in and out anyways.
Well, she should have already died.
And she brings it up all the time. They bring it up so often, and they bring up the fact, too, like, that I still have cancer, I'm still living with it, but there's, at any moment I could die. Like, she says it every now and then, to where it's like, are you gonna die this episode, or are you not?
Before we move on off of that, honorable mentions, I have one person who responded on the social media, and it was a friend who has not been on an episode of this podcast, but who was on a video series I did called John Gets Lit, where we talked about The Left Hand of Darkness. It's a really good science fiction fantasy book. But anyway, Savannah Garrett, she said, when I asked who's the best Grey's Anatomy character, she said, Link and Meredith are the only decent folks left on the show.
Link?
Link and Meredith are the only two ones. She said, but
What is that?
I don't know.
Link is Amelia's
He's new.
boyfriend.
And what's frustrating about that?
Well, hold on. She said, but she did love Derek and O'Malley from before.
What's frustrating about Link and Nico is those two new guys came in as orthopedic surgeons whenever Arizona and April were abruptly written off. So you couldn't have just kept April and Arizona on the show and, like, given them a better storylines. No, you had to fire them and hire two random dudes who add nothing to the show.
She says she likes
They're both
Link.
kind of attractive.
I mean, Link is attractive. Oh, well, I guess Nico does add in, like, an Asian man, which we have not had on the show. And then
True.
also he's homosexual, which we have not had a male homosexual.
Not having an
relationship.
Asian man in a hospital is probably
right, like
not right, because I feel like there's a lot of doctors
there's
from
a
like
lot
South
of doctors
Asia.
of color, yeah.
Yeah.
There is, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that's what he brings to the table, but Link doesn't bring anything except for being attractive.
and super patient with Amelia.
Yeah, that's so true. He is very patient. But you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to get a backstory on him. We're not going to get, I mean, we've gotten, like, him talking about it, but we're not going to get, like, I just feel like.
Him and Joe have apparently a long history or something, right?
But I feel like the show's, the main, there's too many in-depth characters, so for you to add two random ones like that and try and make them, like, secondary main characters, when we still have, like, Schmidt and, Helm, the random person that was in DeLuca's class, like the blonde chick who's obsessed with Meredith. Like, we have characters like that you put in the background, but she's been on the show longer than Link. You know what I mean? So it's like, just make the ones who are already there more important than just keep adding in more people for us to be like, oh yeah. But they need relationships, I guess.
All right. True. So now we'll use like a few categories to just hone in on the characters, and then we will vote for the best character.
Are we going to get to say our final things, though, about voting? Like, to motivate somebody to vote for my person?
Yeah, I mean, this all the categories will be to help us, like, talk about our person more.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, we said moments. Which one of these four? So we can't talk about any other moments unless they involve these four characters. Which one of these four characters has the most, like, intense, dramatic, like, can't wait, I gotta see the next episode moment?
It's definitely Meredith, but it's just because the show revolves around her.
What's the moment?
Every moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of, that's the thing. She's had a lot of those big moments.
Yeah.
And those big moments have led to either entire storylines or, you know, the final episode of the season is a big moment for her. It's always
somebody she loves is affected. Yeah, it's
right.
It's her
plot
moment.
line,
yeah,
her character. Yeah,
Kelsey, do you agree?
For sure.
Yeah, I do.
But
I can't. Is there? Well, I think she's just like, yeah. I don't like. Miranda doesn't really have anything. Is that right?
Well, I mean, she had the one where, like, the patient woke up, like, while she was under anesthesia, and that one kind of was like an oh crap moment. But
and she had. I feel like it's good for Bailey because she has OCD, like diagnosed legit OCD.
Yeah.
And has talked about, like, that struggle with mental health with that, which I thought was, like, a good thing to take on. And it was a bigger deal, I would say, previously, and I forgot it was a thing, honestly, until she talked to DeLuca. But at a point, she had those big moments where it was like patients were dying, and it was because of her
I just remember her having to.
Yeah.
I remember her having to like save a Nazi or something on one episode. That was the one big moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she gets creative and pulls Yang instead of a white male.
And Yang calls her out on that too. And I was like, good. Because Yang was like, you know, I'm Jewish, right? Don't ever do that again. She was like, don't even just think because of my race you can play me like that. Because she was like, I can't be on this case anymore. Like, he's racist. And Yang was like, have you ever considered me?
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And so Yang got very offended too, which I thought was good.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that they were like exploring it from different angles.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
For sure.
Honestly, you already know where I stand on this. He could have died for me.
Oh, Erica would have let the Nazi die, she said.
I mean, if you,
would y'all have saved the Nazi?
I'm just saying, like, if you tell me you do not want me to touch you to save your life, then that's fine. Then that is your wish. Yeah, that is your wish. I am not obligated to save you if you don't want to be saved. Die in front of me, please. Like, I would not. Wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah, he should have died.
Yeah, because he was at first, he was like, no, I want a man. And then Weber came in and he was like, no, not that man. So it's like you're dying and you have all these. So he gets what he wants too. Like, he gets to live in the end, which I'm just like, no, let him die.
And Erica said that she'll go into some rooms to like be lactation consultant, and like she can tell when she walks in that they don't want her.
You can always tell.
So she'll just
and for me,
just leave. She's
I literally don't care. Like, if you don't want me to help you, you're lost.
Yeah. Bye.
God, people are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
Definitely. Karev. Okay, well, here's what I was thinking with Karev. The next category I was going to say is like best arc or like most growth or something like that. Like, I think Karev, y'all were talking about how he has changed a lot. Maybe would he have the best arc, or is there other characters that have changed and grown?
I hate the way that they like took him off.
Forgetting the ending.
Well, right, but here's the thing about the way that they ended it. They tried to end it in a positive way. It's just everybody with common sense knows that it's not positive.
Exactly.
Because they still even, like, all the doctors were supportive. They were like, he's going to make a great husband, dad, and chief resident at this place in Indiana.
It's like a Twilight Zone.
Illinois or something.
Like a Twilight Zone.
And, like, Meredith was like, he's happy. Like, they were all very happy for him. And the show tried to make even the letters seem like, you know, I have kids, I owe them this, like, I'm a good guy. Like, they really tried to sell us to it. So I don't even think that necessarily to them the arc is poor. Like in Game of Thrones, where we watched it and you could visibly see like how awful it was and how they didn't try. I think the writers did try. They just don't understand that we're not stupid.
So I guess go ahead.
I was just going to say I was really disappointed in that. It was so out of the blue, random.
Yes.
It could have been any other thing.
They could have killed him.
Him to go take care of his mother, or
they could have killed him.
They could have had him go take care of his
other
mom.
thing.
Well, do you think maybe they kept him alive because they want him to come back at some point?
No.
I
don't think they. I think at some point too, you can request to not be killed.
I got you.
He knew he was going to leave though, and for me though, as an actor, I don't know.
But you're not an actor.
Not me, for like watching an actor. I just feel like he could have maybe have said like, yeah, I want to leave, but hey, let's make sure we get at least a couple of episodes of my character leaving better. Because I think it could have just been of how abrupt he left. Abruptly he left. That they had no choice but to do that.
But besides the ending, so if we're talking about, again, Miranda, Callie, what's her name? Meredith and Karev, which character do we see like grow and change and evolve in ways that we like, that are realistic, that we like?
Yeah, it's him.
It's Karev.
I think all three, besides not so much, in my opinion, Miranda Bailey hasn't grown or changed over the years too much.
Very consistent.
She's very consistent.
Yeah,
that's one of the things we love about her.
And being consistent is not a negative character trait either.
I think
I know. I think it's one of the
subtly.
things people love her for.
I think she's grown in a way that people don't see someone with strength grow though, because
that's true. Because she went from
takes
being
a lot to be vulnerable, to admit that you're wrong, to be soft, to like be more nurturing. I think that takes a lot more strength than it does to become a better person. As far as like going from bad to good, but to go from good to a different type of good.
Strong to vulnerable.
Right. Like I feel like that is growth that we kind of underestimate because we've already deemed that person as strong. So we don't see a growth there, but it does take a lot to become a vulnerable person.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just was gonna say one thing that the worst episode with Miranda Bailey is the episode where she's having hot flashes constantly and they're trying to fit all of menopause into 1 hour episode. It was so annoying.
Yeah, and then she ends up being pregnant.
Obnoxious.
Wait, again?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. She wasn't menopause. It was pregnancy. That's right.
Yeah, it was pregnancy.
Yeah.
But no,
it still
was menopause. It was
so
she's going through
dramatic
menopause and she
about-
got pregnant at the end of it. Or at the beginning of it.
So, Kelsey, you were saying about her being consistent, though?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with Erica. Like, yeah, she grows. I mean, she starts off as like the nerdy little kid who finds out someone's problem and stands up to the resident, to being kind of the chief who, you know, you don't need to stand up to her because she's fair and always right. And I think that is a point of growth, but I think it's also consistent. She really stays true to who she is as a character.
But that's a good point, too. She grows in terms of, like, her responsibilities, I guess, at the hospital. Because she's in charge, right?
I don't know if she still is,
She's
but
still-
everybody's been chief at one point.
I read that she, like, fired Meredith and all of them for doing something.
Oh, right.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that whole storyline is so funny because it's like, okay, so Karev goes and works at a new hospital. So does Owen. So does Weber. So does Maggie. Oh, wait, let's buy that hospital so they can all come back to Gray Sloan. Like,
So silly.
Oh my goodness.
what is, Catherine, you just going to go buy a whole hospital? Like, what?
I bought a hospital.
She
speaking.
control her husband.
Yes.
And then Callie, I mean, she wasn't on the show as long, but what
she
kind of arc
definitely didn't
did
have
she
the
have?
same type
growth.
of growth as everyone else. I mean, I think her growth was more within herself and like finding who she was sexually and finding who she was, I think, just as a person. Because I feel like to go from being in straight relationships to coming out takes a lot, especially when you were raised in a household where it's not something that's necessarily looked upon well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hers was like identity.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's it. So she grew a lot,
which I like that
way. Mm-hmm. I think she got stronger.
She owned who she was.
I think she gained confidence as a doctor as she grew personally, too.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I completely agree.
I mean, Meredith is obviously going to have the longest arc. Maybe Bailey too, because they're both still on the show and from the beginning. But what about Meredith? Does she have?
Doesn't change.
But she does go through a lot.
She changes
so
some.
I think she goes through a lot, but she has had privilege behind her from the beginning of the show, to where she does whatever she wants and she doesn't get in trouble. And she knows she's not going to, so she doesn't have to change. I mean, she's maybe changed in the fact that she's, I don't know, I feel like
she trash for an entire season, Erica.
I think she's been confident but she also knew she would be fine if she just left to go do something else. I think from beginning to end, she was always confident. She was always kind of dark, you know.
She was confident, but also with insecurities. I mean, think about how she grew up with under her mother, and her mother being sort of neglectful, and her not really wanting everybody to necessarily know much about her personal life because she was trying to
maybe
protect
that's
her
what
mother.
it is. Maybe Meredith is still so actually withdrawn, and she doesn't allow herself to be vulnerable to other people. There's no growth there.
We do talk about three-dimensionality, like characters that make sense and are realistic.
To me, Callie's the most realistic person. Like, I feel like I would see her in real life, and I would talk to her in real life. And
like, they respond to trauma in realistic ways, and they are, they're real people. They don't just feel like characters on a show. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I do see Callie being one of them, but also Karev.
I was going to say Karev, too.
I think Karev, he's, like we were saying, his background and, like, he lied to get that, like, sympathy to get into med school, and, like, he's just constantly, he lashes out, gets in fights, hot-headed. I don't know, I think he was, like, more realistic to me.
He's douchey, and then he grows up a little bit.
Exactly.
What do you think, Kelsey?
Honestly, probably Bailey. Like, I mean, she's a mom who works, really hard, and she's a mom, she's tough, but she has her feelings too. I don't know, I feel like she's a good example of, like, an actual person, and I feel like that's when she kind of has her emotional moments, like, after she thought she was killing patients, but it turned out it was the gloves, like,
oh God, what?
That really
that
hit
was
her
sad.
hard.
that
The
was all
gloves?
just so, like, hard for me
Wasn't
to
it the
watch.
gloves?
What the heck?
Yeah, it was something like that. But, like, watching her reaction to that, and she genuinely felt like, hey, I'm a failure, like, that's how other people in real life would probably feel too.
She processed. She went through real stuff.
I think that's when they explained her OCD, right?
Yeah. After that, when she was like obsessively doing a lot of things, which may be actually inauthentic to the disorder.
The show's. I feel like there's a lot of dramatic, long-winded like monologues where a character chews another character out, and I feel like that is Bailey, right?
That's who she is.
Yeah.
But does any other character get those, or is that the show, or is that just Bailey?
No, a lot of people.
I feel like a lot of characters get those, right? Mm-hmm. But Bailey is the one that wins that.
Bailey is like a moral compass for the show. She's the one that
she chews people out.
She's going to fire you if you're doing it wrong. She's going to suspend you if you're not doing what you're supposed to. She's a rule follower, and but with a heart. Like, she loves these people, but she's going to do what's right.
Yeah.
So she's got the most integrity for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Is there anything else anybody wants to say about their character to like convince anybody that yours is the best?
I don't need to say anymore because I know mine's the best.
But you have to convince everyone else.
I think I did that.
I think about the characters on Grey's Anatomy and Grey's Anatomy as a whole. This show is so good. No one can ever argue that. Grey's Anatomy is literally one of the best shows ever. And I know it's different now, but that doesn't change what we've had. And I think all the characters that we've picked are great characters. So no matter who wins, like, it's still a good character.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, like, they're all really good. And it's hard to pick one perfect one for the show because they're all so different. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah, but I feel like everyone's role is needed.
It is.
Like, I feel like, we need a Bailey. We need, these annoying doctors here and there. Mm-hmm. But I will say, I'm going to say I liked mine the best only because I feel like, Bailey's, obviously, like you were saying, they're all incredible, but some of the characters are safe, meaning like...
you know what they're going to do.
You know what to... Exactly. Versus like, freaking Karev was more like just a freaking tornado, and you're like, what the hell's happening now? And I don't know. I think that's kind of why I'm gonna stick with my answer.
When you watch, you know what to expect from the others, but you don't know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, like, you're like, are they gonna kick off Alex now? But then he just keeps getting better and better. So
I think my character Calliope is really great, right? Not just for like the show's purpose, but just in general, because she brought more than that was back when like Grey's gave us surgery and the drama. Now I feel like there's so many scenes outside of the hospital versus inside of the hospital that I'm like, why are we at Meredith's house, her beautiful house, But like back when they were on the show, it was lots of like in the hospital and like lots of drama like that where you still got to learn so much about them. I don't know. For me personally, Callie is one of my favorite characters because that was the first time that I started to see like genuine joy in somebody on the show. Like, everyone else was kind of miserable and they all were just really snarky and like upset in those beginning seasons
because everyone dies around them all the time.
Well, I don't think it has happened yet. Nobody had died yet.
I got you. Except their patients.
No, and I think Callie was married to George when he died.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that joy came from her finding her identity, because I remember her going back to her apartment and dancing naked and being like, I'm in my undies, like owning myself. So I do really appreciate that from her character. And the only reason why I feel like I can't really vote for her or go towards it is just because she's so connected with Arizona. And,
I feel that. No, I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm like, if it wasn't for her, I'd totally probably
It's hard too because
Callie
she's not on anymore. So when you think of Grey's Anatomy, you will not think of her.
Okay.
Which makes it even harder to like defend her. But like I said, I think all the characters are so great. So no matter who wins, like, it'll be good.
All right. Mom, any last words for Meredith before we vote?
No, not really. She was like my fourth choice.
Oh, God. Okay, so we know my mom is a swing vote.
I love it.
I actually considered all of your characters before I settled on Meredith, but when you took all three of those characters, I said, it's Meredith is critical to the storyline.
No, that's you are. Yeah, this is what I often do.
She is.
I often argue for whatever is left over, just for fun and just to get that character in there. All right. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think she is pivotal to the plot and the storyline, but she's not anyone's favorite character. I don't feel like
she's in my top 3.
Yeah, I mean, but your vote, your character that you had was, I liked her better than Meredith.
You know what's
I
funny?
also liked
I
her.
think I like yours better than mine.
That's
as I talk
funny,
through
but
this.
when I heard you the other day say you were going to do Callie, I was like, dang it, okay, I'm doing Meredith.
All right, well, if we don't have anything else to say, we can do a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then you say who you voted for.
Dang.
And then we don't hear each other, so then we have to repeat it again. So it's really a flawed process, but we do it. It's tradition, so that's just how we do it. So are y'all ready for that?
Mm-hmm. Hey, let's just say their last names, not their first names.
Right.
Okay, so it's going to be just their doctor name.
Because I couldn't remember some of their first names. I can remember them now, so if we want to change that, that's fine.
Are you ready, Kelsey?
Callie, what is Callie's last name?
Torres.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Then...
you just tricked us into all saying your...
Oh, yeah. And so I'm going to cut that. I'm going to edit that and cut it.
Everybody's like, Torres.
Scratch that.
So are you ready? We're going to say it in 3, 2, 1.
Bailey. Oh,
Bailey.
Did I hear 2 Karevs?
No, it was 3 Baileys.
3 Baileys? Kelsey, you stuck with Bailey?
Yay.
Dang, I
did say Bailey.
I didn't hear people passionately arguing for her, so I didn't realize she was going to get it.
I started to realize the pros in her when I started talking. I was convincing myself. I was like, you know what? Okay, Bailey is in my top 5. I convinced myself.
So Kelsey did some
She
jujitsu.
for sure is a fave.
I get what?
You did some jujitsu. That means
mental jujitsu.
Yeah, you let Erica figure out that she was the best.
I thought I would get jujitsu lessons.
Well, I don't.
That's what you win.
Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, if you win on the podcast, then no one wants that.
I like how we've come full circle to where Erica was telling her what she actually thought a while ago, and then she
got us
to all say what she said.
She did.
She did the brain work. Yeah.
I can't believe it. We did it again. We figured out who the best character is in whatever we're talking about, despite the podcast being called Your Favorite Character Sucks. Now the only question is, what should we do next? You can help us decide by following us at YFCS Pod on Instagram and Twitter and telling us which show, movie, series, book you think we should do. Until then, hit that subscribe button and catch us on the next episode. Thanks for listening.